The Saints?
Shit. I'll look Kamar.
It's okay. We're going to get it. Second day.
You give me a drink.
Second day, hold the phone.
Or the, anything.
Waiting on the call. It's my second day holding it. It's going to ring in a minute.
Hey, if it don't, just call for me so we can just.
Yeah. What's going to happen?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Hey, shout out to Deion Sanders and Shedeur and the whole family for keeping Young Dolph. Y'all know the rapper Young Dolph. That's his son right there that gave him the phone. Man, shout out to them, bro. I'm glad they there to give him guidance. You know, him being around them gonna be big. That's gonna be big in the long run, man. I'm happy for him. R.I.P. Young Dolph.
Hello.
You got that call?
Yeah, what's going on?
Ready to go.
Say it one more time for me.
It's Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. Been waiting on you.
Ready to go. Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man.
No, for sure.
We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's be legendary.
But you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Ready to go.
What does that mean?
What? What did he say?
I don't know.
Are you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone?
You heard that?
He said you're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Why did he talk? What the fuck?
Hey, that's
I don't know what that was. It's 50-50. But nobody got this number though.
It was private.
Did they just troll, bro?
Okay.
Man, he just got trolled, bro. They tripping out, man. Now I'm gonna crash out, bro.
It is. We said we're going to tell you what the next bit, but you got to wait a little bit longer.
Man, that's crazy. Man, Shedeur went from being a top 5 pick. Some mock draft had this man number 1 quarterback, number 1 pick. Mel Kiper had the man number 1 quarterback. He go from that to now he didn't drop out of the first 3 rounds. Now we're gonna find out today he get drafted. Now yesterday they were talks about the Raiders could potentially be dropping him. They passed up on him 3 times. Pittsburgh passed up on him a couple of times. And for God's sake, bro, Tyler should get dropped over him out of Louisville. Tyler should. Did y'all see his combine? Did y'all see that throw? Did y'all see that throw? The boy threw the ball. He missed the wide receiver badly, bro. His arm ain't strong like Shedeur. Man, what is going on, bro? I got another video I want to play y'all, bro. This is crazy. So it's really getting bad. Like, okay, I feel like it's even deeper, y'all. This is deeper than just being Deion's son. Because we know people just don't like Deion. But Deion, if you really think about it, Deion really doesn't have a bad relationship with the NFL. He has worked with the NFL Network. I think they're really just trying to break Shedeur. I don't know what was said behind closed doors or whatever, but some people pointed to the pre-draft workout. Now, according to a new update, and I'm going to play this video for y'all, and y'all can see for yourself that they're saying his pre-draft interviews turned a lot of teams off. Now, you know, I seen certain people criticize him for wearing his hat backwards, like all that kind of stuff. But man, now listen to this, y'all.
This, Joe, is a repudiation by the NFL of how Shedeur Sanders and those around him handled the entire NFL draft process. What you are not going to tell me, or really anyone who watches football, is that Shedeur Sanders is a worse quarterback than Dillon Gabriel, who was selected in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. Look, I didn't think that Shedeur Sanders was going to go in the first round of the draft. I thought, and in talking with teams, they told me that he was a second-round quarterback. Second round comes around. I start calling around today. At the start of the draft, I learned he's probably not going to go in the top 10 of the second round. Okay, that's fine. At some point in there, and talking with NFL evaluators, they believed that at some point in the second round, he would eventually be selected in the second round. Then the third round comes. And as we know, of course, he's not selected at all on Friday night. And so when you look at this, you say that Shedeur Sanders, you see that Shedeur Sanders was clearly talented enough to be selected in the top 5 when it comes to quarterbacks, right? He was a top 5 quarterback in this year's class. Not a great class, not a class that had many first rounders, but he was one of the 5 best quarterbacks in this NFL draft. You're not going to convince me otherwise of that. But the difference here is how he and those around him handled the draft process. Let's go back.
See, I hate how they see. Another thing I'm seeing too, what they trying to do is they trying to put him and Cam Ward against each other. Oh, Cam Ward is so much more humble. Cam Ward, he handled he's more mature. He's come from the mud. Shedeur spoiled riding. Like, man, the guy, look, man, both of these guys have confidence in themselves. Both of them showboat. I mean, look, that's part of the game. But for whatever reason, like Shedeur, his type of confidence, it rubs off on people the wrong way. Now, I don't think he's the perfect quarterback. I have criticisms. He stands in the pocket too long. But you're not see what he's okay. This guy right here, he just announced that he is a top 5 quarterback. Dude is literally, if you don't have him number 1, at least put him number 2. I thought Jalen Milroe was actually the 3rd best quarterback, me personally. And that's my guy, Alabama. You feel me? That's my guy. So I even had him behind Shedeur. For Shedeur to not even be a top 5 drafted quarterback is crazy. Now, it's not the end of the world. Joe Montana got drafted in the 3rd round. Tom Brady got drafted in the 6th round. Those 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I want Shedeur Sanders to get drafted to the right situation, a team that's going to actually give him an opportunity. I thought it was going to be the Raiders. The Raiders needed a quarterback. Pittsburgh needed a quarterback, and both of them passed up on him. What is going on? And I'm going to finish playing this clip, though.
Of modern times was saying, look, we might pull an Eli, which of course he was referring to how Eli Manning ultimately didn't go to the San Diego Chargers and then engineered, along with his father, a way to go to the New York Giants 2 decades ago. And then his tune changed over the next year, right? But then what continued to happen? He would tweet after every Las Vegas Raiders loss, thank you, God. And it seemed like the Raiders were destined for the number 1 overall selection. It seemed like he was trying to engineer his way to the number 1 pick on a team that was co-owned by Tom Brady. And then the New York Giants, maybe they get the number 1 pick, or they're going to be up top. And so he has the New York Giants colored cleats. And then we get to the combine, and no, he does not throw, which is not uncommon for top quarterbacks these days. But in some of those meetings, and we reported this at the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, at some of those meetings with certain teams that maybe Shedeur Sanders didn't really want to go to, didn't see himself going to for any number of reasons. Maybe they had a starting quarterback installed there. I was told that he more or less sandbagged in those interviews. I don't know if he didn't take them seriously, what it was, but he did not give it his all in some of those interviews, rubbed some teams the wrong way. And so then you continue where it was a pro day that frankly was just sort of average. I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't great. It was average. And so more and more continues. He gets his jersey number retired. His father retires his jersey number at Colorado. That is something that's really just not seen in major college football, how quickly it was done, and considering the lack of accolades in his career. All of these things began to add up for teams. And I'm not saying that is right that it added up for teams. What I'm saying is it did clearly add up for teams, because you're not going to tell me that the guy who was on the field the last 2 years for Colorado wasn't good enough to be selected by the end of the second night, wasn't good enough to be selected over a Dillon Gabriel, with all due respect to Dillon Gabriel. So this is clearly a way for the NFL and its teams to let him and anyone else after him know you can't comport yourself in this way moving forward.
Yeah, but crazy thing about it, like Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, all these guys, man, they was cocky. They was worse than Shedeur to me. Man, these guys was so bold and front running and flash. I mean, all these guys are flashing, man. Like, man, look, we know what time it is, bro. They trying to break this young brother soul, dog. They really trying to humble him. And why? I don't understand why. It's so important to humble Shedeur Sanders. It's so important to humble these young, confident athletes that's trying to make a way for themselves. Man, look, part of that confidence y'all don't like, that could be like the biggest reason why, so that could be sometimes they play a big part into your game and to your mentality. This game is mental first. You got to, in order to be great, you got to believe you great. So I wouldn't want to change him for who he is. I don't want you to be fake. I don't want you to be somebody else. That's a mental illness to me. If you want him to be somebody else, you want me to be somebody else, man, that's a mental illness. I want you to be yourself. And I feel like Shedeur, regardless, okay, if y'all don't like his attitude, fine. But the young man can ball. So it's that bad that you would draft a mediocre quarterback over him? For real? Like, come on, bro. And I think I'm telling y'all, this all gonna end up bad for this. It's not gonna end well for them. Cause if Shedeur gets the right opportunity, he gets with the right team, he's gonna make all of those teams that pass up on him eat crow. Simple as that. We're gonna keep our update. We're gonna keep an update on Shedeur, man. This is day 3 NFL draft. We're in the 4th round. No real updates right now. Everybody's saying that he could get dropped this round, that round. We thought he was gonna get dropped yesterday. I guess we have to wait and see, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in, like always. Make sure y'all hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe. I'll see y'all in that video. Salute.